First of all, ladies and gentlemen, Merry Christmas if you celebrate. If you don't celebrate, I hope you're having a good day regardless. Got a very important video here today. Bitcoin attempted to break down over the last 24 hours, but the selling pressure simply was not there, and instead we surged back for a short-term move to the upper part of the local range. The question now becomes, will Bitcoin continue upwards to new all-time highs, or will it swing back to the downside, break below its structural support, and continue the correction? We'll try and answer this today. It's a little bit hard to answer directly, but we'll do our best. Guys, before we get into it, two things. First of all, go leave a comment down below. It helps me out tremendously in the algorithm, and I read all the comments, of course. And secondly, Bitfinex and BitGet exchanges. If you need an exchange, and everyone needs an exchange to buy and sell cryptocurrency, you probably want to be on a good one. You're trusting them with your funds, and you're paying them money and fees. So take your pick here. We have BitGet and Bitfinex. I've handpicked these exchanges for their own unique reasons. BitGet is available to everyone except for people from America, and to everyone in the world globally, Bitfinex is available. So they are very low in trading fees, they have very good track records, they have protection funds available, and with my referral link down below, you can get a 15% trading fee discount for life on either of these exchanges just by signing up for my referral link and access to literally thousands of dollars in rewards. There's more details in the pinned comment and description below. Use those links and sign up. I should also mention quickly, we have the VIP sale right now, the Christmas sale, the best deal I've ever offered on VIP. If you want altcoin trading signals, check that out down below. I won't take any more of your time. Let's get into it. Guys, the market's in a very frustrating position right now. It's frustrating because it's very difficult to decipher. We're going to try to decipher it though. We know Bitcoin is pretty much copying 2021 right now. We know it's pretty much copying that first move above its prior all-time high. The first parabolic leg of the bull market, which I've circled right here, is pretty much where we are at right now. We know that for two reasons. Reason one, we know that Bitcoin moves cyclically, and hence we can compare the last cycle to the current cycle due to the fact that cyclical structures generally resemble each other. And second of all, we have further evidence that Bitcoin is copying that move there in 2021 by the fact that the Bitcoin dominance chart has started rapidly decreasing at around the same time that it did in 2021. So in 2021, on that parabolic leg, that's when Bitcoin dominance really started plummeting. The exact same thing has happened this time on that parabolic leg. That is when Bitcoin dominance really started plummeting. Now it has surged back to the upside, but that's due to external factors and external reasons, which we've discussed quite extensively over the last week. I'll spare you that detail today because it'll just take too long to get into. But more or less, we can be somewhat sure that Bitcoin is at least somewhat copying what it did in 2021 here. It might not be exact, it probably isn't exact. The point is, the first parabolic leg above the prior all-time high is what triggers the actual parabolic bull market. That's what's happened so far. We've broken 100K, we've started that altcoin season. That's what happened in 2021 as well. Now, the thing is, Bitcoin corrected about 34% after that first parabolic leg before continuing to the upside, of course. So it was a bullish correction, but the point is you can see, and you probably should see, very brutal Bitcoin corrections even in a parabolic bull market. And now the question becomes, well, where is Bitcoin's correction? And furthermore, is the correction we have already seen enough of a correction to justify the next leg to the upside so soon? Because although this correction here in 2021 was a 34% correction, we have to consider the fact that in 2021, Bitcoin corrected from 40,000. This time, Bitcoin is correcting from 108,000, and it's corrected about 15% so far. So if we are more than double the price, does it stand to reason that more than half of the correction could be enough for Bitcoin to swing back to the upside? Perhaps it's enough, right? Perhaps we don't have to correct further. The problem is it's very hard to validate that and verify that. We don't really know yet. What we do know is that Bitcoin is not actively correcting right now. As of right now, as we speak today, Bitcoin is not in active danger. And the reason we can establish that is very clear. Well, there's two reasons. One of them is the ascending support line right here, right? They're both support zones. One of them is this ascending support line here in yellow, which stems backwards from this region here in February 2024. It actually found the bottom. It marked the bottom during the massive cataclysmic drop in May 2024, which you will all remember as being brutal for altcoins. It marked the top on a couple of occasions in July, and it's pretty much held up the entire Bitcoin structure for close to 2 months now. So this yellow line here is very clearly a fundamental support zone. And the fact that we've come down and retested that just yesterday and bounced very strongly off of it is a clear sign that Bitcoin is not in an active correction right now. On top of that, we have the 50 SMA. Now, the 50 SMA is on the daily chart is just such an exceptionally important indicator for Bitcoin. We know this very clearly. Just look at all the interactions with price here that I'm circling. Historically on Bitcoin, this is a very, very influential indicator. And we are obviously coming down and retesting that. And just like we bounced off that yellow line, we bounced off that 50 EMA at the same time, right? So these lines, the yellow one and the 50 EMA in red, acted in conjunction with each other to provide support for Bitcoin, which has led to a short-term bounce. So that's really, really good to see. So basically, we know that Bitcoin is not currently in a correction. And the fact that we can identify that through these two support zones means that if we do lose these two support zones, we can clearly establish that Bitcoin is in an active correction. So until Bitcoin loses, right, the yellow line right here and the red line right here, and hence until it loses something like 94,000 on a daily candle close, Bitcoin is not in danger. There's no immediate term danger in here until around 94,000 gets lost on the daily candle close. If that occurs, then we can really start to talk about lower prices on Bitcoin. But right now, we're not currently correcting. So that begs the question, well, what happens next year on short term? Do we maintain this bounce and head higher? Or do we come back down and actually correct properly? That's where it becomes very difficult to answer. If I had to guess, and I don't want to guess here, in fact, I shouldn't have even phrased it like that because I really don't think I have the data to support any sort of bias here at all. I would say that Bitcoin's looking okay right now. And the reason I would say that, and it's very cautiously optimistic, like I could be wrong here very easily, and there's no confirmation of this whatsoever, and I'll tell you when confirmation comes. But the reason I would say that is because Bitcoin threatened to break down below this structure that we were talking about the other day. So first of all, we had this ascending wedge, which I've marked out here. We broke back to the downside, we went downwards. We formed a new ascending wedge formation, which I discussed the other day, and we formed compression within that ascending wedge formation. Let's zoom in here so you can see it. The bottom line being the bottom of the wedge and the white line being the compression line. We formed compression, broke down from that wedge. The breakdown was unsustained, even though it was a valid breakdown, as we can see by the volume surge to the upside upon that breakdown. It was unsustained. We formed a double bottom with a bullish divergence on the RSI. I'm zooming through this very quickly because I don't want to focus too much on it. A bullish divergence on the RSI with that volume surge on the breakdown. And then we swung aggressively back to the upside when that compression line in white was broken. So basically, all of this to say is that Bitcoin basically attempted to break down over the last 24 hours. It tried to break down. The selling pressure wasn't there. The buyers were too strong. And instead, we formed a double bottom with bullish divergence. This to me is a great sign because it shows that the selling pressure is simply not there right now. Now, that could be because people are on holiday, Santa, Christmas, whatever. It could be various explanations, but the fact of the matter is that is a relatively good sign. And the same thing happened with Ethereum, okay? So we look at Ethereum. Ethereum, just like Bitcoin, saw a breakdown. Instead of breaking down properly, it found support on a prior support level at around 3,200, as well as finding support on the bull market support band, okay? And on a spike in the volume profile. So the market tried to break down over the last 24 hours. And the reason why a lot of people wouldn't have noticed it is because it just didn't succeed, right? The buying pressure was too strong. The selling pressure was not there. This is good. This is good. But we haven't seen the upside confirmation yet. So as good as it is, and as good of a sign of it as it is, and as much as we can say, oh, Bitcoin's looking quite good here, it doesn't look that good because we haven't actually broken up yet. We've just not broken down. We've avoided the breakdown, but we haven't actually confirmed a break up either. So what does Bitcoin need to do to confirm that break upwards? In my view, it needs to break 102,500. That is the prior peak before we entered this trough. That is a very clear resistance zone that acted as resistance from the 5th of December through to the 15th of December. And most importantly, that is the support zone that held Bitcoin upwards while it was attacking its all-time high at 108,000. To me personally, until Bitcoin breaks 102,500, we are not in the clear, okay? But if we do break that level, we're good to go. And just like that, to the upside, to the downside, until Bitcoin breaks 94,000, okay, we're not in immediate term danger. So Bitcoin right now is chilling. It sounds weird to say, but it's chilling out. It's taking a kickback. It's cracking open a bloody cold one, and it's hanging out, and we're just waiting for it to do something here. Now, when will it move? It's hard to say. We don't have any clear patterns of compression here at this point in time, so I can't nail it down, but I would say I would be very surprised if it didn't move within the end of the year, right? It would surprise me massively. So guys, with all of that said, thank you for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it. Should we just recap quickly? Let's do it. So Bitcoin pretty much could be copying 2021 here. We've seen a little bit of correction. It's hard to say whether it's corrected enough yet. Because 2021, obviously, we corrected from a much lower price, applying diminishing returns. Perhaps the correction is much smaller this time. 94K is the downside breaker, and the upside breaker is 102,500. Bitcoin attempted to break down over the last 24 hours. The selling pressure wasn't enough. That's a good sign for the buyers, and perhaps we are leaning slightly bullish here, but nothing's confirmed yet. Thank you for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed. Leave a comment down below specifically. Helps me out a lot in the algorithm, but also like and subscribe, all of that good stuff. And check out a couple of things here. I want to mention, by the way, just before we get into the exchanges again, we have a VIP sale right now, a Christmas sale, actually, an end-of-year sale. This is the best deal I've ever offered on VIP. So if you want altcoin trading signals, you literally have got 6 days left to get the best deal I've ever offered. 4 times a week, I post altcoin trading signals. Historically, 78% win rate, 2 years of data there, 2 years of track record publicly available. Get into that. Best deal ever. Literally, not lying. So check it out. And the last thing I'll mention are the exchanges. Bitunix, which is global non-KYC, and BitGet, which is global minus the USA. Check them out. My links are down below for 15% trading fee discounts for life. Helps me out by signing up with my link, and it helps you out by getting on a good exchange as well. So guys, check out those links. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. I'll catch you soon.